I don't want to say I blame myself, but yeah, I do. I would be so consumed with fear, and I'll start looking for a gynecologist. I need to check my body. I need to check my body right now. Like, it was so bad. And then after a while, the only nurse that I had, Vec, already left. I asked her, am I weeing myself? Like, you should be cared for and catered to, not shouted on or overlooked. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Evelyn. If you're new here, what am I saying? It's been a long time I did a sit down video, so yeah, year goes. This has actually been on my mind for a while to film. I just feel that it will bless or to touch one or two people, and they'll be able to learn from it. I don't know what the lesson of this video is going to be, but let me just put it out there. Hopefully it reaches the people it's supposed to reach. So my name is Evelyn. If you're new here, I film about schooling, working, doing everything here in Germany, carrying you along on my journey. And I'm sure if you backtrack a few videos ago, I shared how I lost my baby here at 23 weeks pregnancy. So I'll backtrack to my first son's birth, and before then what transpired even up to this time where gynecology is concerned. So when I got to this country, as usual, I registered for a I looked for a gynecology close to me, and then I registered there. It was just like a few minutes walk from our house, and I went there like to do like normal checkups and all that. It was a gynecology practice of a couple. It was a man and a woman. They were a couple, the same surname, so I believe that they were like husband and wife. And yeah, they did the pap smear for me and all that. And I even went with a friend of mine, and it was giving, I wouldn't say it was giving word, but it was giving no attachments, of which I understand. How many people do you want to be attached to as a gynecologist? Like, you see nothing less than 30 people a day, so no attachment. But yeah, I just expected maybe a little bit more warmth from them, and I didn't get it. But I felt it's fine, and that was how it is here. And so by the time, and at some point I went to even complain for menstrual cramps in the hospital, and all they did to me, all she recommended was, I always opt to see the woman. All she recommended was birth control, and I'm like, I took the prescription, but I didn't buy it. And yeah, that was it. When I got my good what it was, and I already knew that most gynecologists want to prescribe birth control pills without even investigating what exactly is the cause of the menstrual problem. Maybe it was endometriosis or what I was, because they wouldn't like try to investigate most of them, except like you complain that the pain is really intense. So I just moved on from there, and I started working on my diet at that time, and so I think gradually became better before I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, I went there, I registered and all that. The couple or the gynecologist, they would speak English normally, but the front desk people, the nurses, they wouldn't, and it's fine, I understand. So yeah, when I got pregnant, and you know the warmth, the niceness that we get from nurses here back home in Nigeria, especially towards pregnant people, I was expecting it. What was I thinking? Who was I fooling? I didn't get that, but it was kind of, well, I was like, okay, let everything shall be fine, that's my own. And yeah, some days, and I got pregnant in 2019, but going into 2020. So my son was born during COVID, which was lockdown, and towards that time they had to shut down, not shut down, one person was, before it was the both of them, but now during COVID, one person, I think because their kids were at home, that was just my assumption, I think because the kids were at home, one person has to be home, you know, so most of the time it's just one person that will be there. And so during that time I was attended to by the man, and it was just a little bit better, I wasn't even bothered. I was like, maybe that's just how it is here. So I continued, and thankfully I had my baby. At 40 weeks, when I went for my appointment, she was like, if by 41 weeks my son is still in my tummy, then she's going to induce me and refer me to a hospital. Thankfully, my baby was 41 weeks on Monday, and by Thursday my water broke, so leading on to 41 weeks. So it wasn't up to 41 weeks before I had him. So by the time I was like, doctors advised after 6 months you go for checkup to check if everything is okay inside there. And then when I tried to book an appointment, they were not taking appointments. And then I went there, I think it was short or something like that, maybe COVID. They were really reducing the number of people that they were accepting. I was just praying that I hope they have not totally shut down. And so I searched for another practice in another. It was like across the road. I would have to cross a major road, which was fine. Of course, there's traffic lights. So I searched for them and I went there, and they were so nice. Like, they were super, super, super nice. I was shocked because I even posted it on my Instagram stories that if you're not comfortable about something, just change it. I should have taken my own advice, right? Just wait and hear. And they were super nice. I did my ultrasound for the breast, for down there, and everything was fine and all. And then I think I went there twice before we then moved. And when we moved, it also coincided with the time that I lost my mom, which was due to some gynecology disease. And so it really gave me so much fear. I was going for tests like every week, every appointment I could get. Like, I could just sit down here and I would be so consumed with fear, and I would start looking for a gynecologist. I need to check my body right now. Like, it was so bad. In 2023, I was going for appointments I would just carry my bag, I'm going. I would not even tell my husband that I booked the appointment. It was just on the day off that I would just carry my bag, I'm going. Where are you going to? I'm going to gynecology. Maybe you went to one 3 weeks ago. I'm going again. At some point, the sweetheart tell me that you will find, is it until you find what you're looking for before you sit down? It was as if I was looking for something. Like, I was looking like, tell me there's something wrong, God forbid. At some point I had to like sit down. So the last person I did gynecologist test with I was actually also in the process of looking for one around peradventure maybe I get pregnant. So like I wouldn't like a gynecologist that's so far away. So the last one I got was like 3 or 4, 5 train stations from here, and it was a man, right? And when I got there, the practice was not so set up, the gynecologist place was not so set up. And then I asked him, and he said that he moved from, that was actually not his office. He moved from another place, and this was just temporary. They're reconstructing his office, and I can understand how it could be here in Germany, reconstruction and all that. Maybe they were trying to construct, like most gynecologists or most practices are usually in like a very big building, and maybe they were constructing that building. That was what I just assumed. He had a nurse at that time. She took my blood sample and all. I think that was towards the end of 2023. She took my blood sample and they asked me to come back. He was like, I should just go and come back like after like 8 weeks, around 8 weeks or thereabout. And by the time I would come back in January, once you're pregnant, you're given like a book. They call it motor pass. That's where they record all the history, everything that is happening, all the tests they're running. By the time I went back in January, I think that was already like 12 weeks. He said my motor pass wasn't ready. The test that I did, he could not even find the results. But I don't want to say I blame myself, but yeah, I do, because it was really conversational. Like I said, when I had my son, there were no conversations, there were no checking. They would just check the baby, good. You are fine. I have a headache. They will give me iron tablets, and that's it. But this one was like, it was conversational. It would talk and talk, relax my mind, speak to me and all that. But the only thing that was off was his office was not set up. Of course, you cannot malpractice as a gynecologist here, you know, like, because I could see like people that were running tests that will come and collect blood sample. They will come and go and all that. However, that was just the thing that was off. His office was not set up. And then after a while, the only nurse that he had, Vec, already left. And I was like, you don't have a nurse. So it was one that was doing the admin things. It was the one that was taking blood sample. It was the one that would attend to someone, to patients and all that. it was conversational, it was nice, it would relax you and all. But and then I'll ask him, where is your nurse? She has COVID. Say yes, she said she has COVID. And bear in mind that in a gynecologist practice, there will be like at least 3 nurses, front desk nurses and all, at least 3 in a standard practice. And it was just one at the time I started there, and none by the time I was like 12 weeks or so. But I'll go there, sit down, we run the test, your cervix is up, is fine, everything is okay, blah blah blah. And then by the week we were going to travel was when we were due for NIPT test, which is like check the measurements and everything. But the weekend leading up to that week was, I would just sit down and I would feel pee, like I'm sipping pee. I'm like, am I weeing myself? Like, I asked myself, am I weeing myself? I was like, but I read that okay, maybe baby's putting so much pressure on the bladder. But I'm like, it's still early. Like that was, and around that time was around 21, 22 weeks pregnant. And so I went for the NIPT and he checked my cervix, everything is fine. I told him, I think I'm weeing myself, could you check if everything is fine? He checked, said everything is fine, maybe baby's putting pressure on the bladder. And then it did the NIPT, said everything is fine, and he said my baby is a girl, we're happy. I was even on the phone with my husband, and then I even did a video with my parents, my dad and my siblings, and they said everything is fine. Guys, I now traveled. I can never forget the test. The NIPT was on Monday. We left Berlin on Wednesday, and everything happened. Woke up in the midnight and my water busted, was 22 weeks plus, and said it was too early and all that. My baby came at 23 weeks, which was really, really early. Of course, between the time my water broke and the time that his heartbeat stopped was a week, and there was still heartbeat. After a while, the heartbeat stopped. You can go back to watch the video. I don't want to say it all over again. And so when we got back to bed, I went to tell him that this and this and this happened. Like I said, he told me that my baby is a girl, and when I birthed my child, it was a boy. And they said, it could be blah blah blah, no problem. And when I came back, with my midwife, I spoke with my midwife. She came over, like she was really amazing, so much supportive. And I told her everything, and she was like, of course, you don't want to blame any person. It could be nature, of which I agree. Like, these things happen. I know that these things happen, but I just felt that maybe there would have been some things that maybe the gynecologist would have checked. Maybe my amniotic fluid. I spoke with my midwife. She asked me to bring my motor pass. I showed her. She said, there are no signs, or he checked everything and everything is normal, blah blah blah. She feels it's infection. I'm like, okay, if she feels it's infection that caused it, maybe it could have been caught earlier. Maybe it could have been caught earlier, because those are part of things that you check a pregnant person when they go for gynecologist test, right? So definitely the response was definitely to change my gynecologist. Immediately I became better and all that. I went to see him and I told him everything. He was almost crying. I was just smiling, because at that point I already started getting over it. It was over a month or 6 weeks, but I already actively started searching for another gynecologist, and thankfully a friend referred me to one, and it's a even though it's not so close by, and so far it's been amazing. I think I've been there twice. I have an appointment booked again, and I think that sums up my experience with gynecology so far here in Germany. And I feel that I just thought to share so that you could learn one or two things. If you feel that something is not right, speak out, and if it doesn't change, just change, because your life could depend on it, really. I've actually, when I shared my story with another person, she also experienced something really close to that, and she just had to change the gynecologist immediately. So if you feel that something is alright, especially as a woman, please just change. You're your greatest advocate. If you think it's not right, just change. Like, if you think something is off, because this is your time, like what Maraji said, during pregnancy, it's your time. Like, you should be cared for and catered to, not shouted on or overlooked. Or yeah, it's your time. Yeah, it's your time. It's a very special moment. So I just thought to share, and yeah, that will be it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Ciao.